Hi, Jordan here, and welcome to my Canvas prototype class screencast. So off the bat, I'd like to explain some of the design methodologies that were integrated into this course. And the inspiration really comes from the private sector and post-secondary education institutions. I wanted to see what these two fields were doing well in online learning, and I wanted to see how we can apply these innovative concepts that they're using every day into the secondary learning model. So much of my graduate research has been on massive open online courses, or MOOCs, and how they're being utilized to train employees or teach skills at a university level. And the reason these courses have become the focal point of my research is because of the cost effective and time efficient nature of their design. MOOCs have been expanding in use due to their ability to reach a large amount of students with a very small number of instructors. This is because they utilize self reflection and peer review for many of their formative assessments. As a result, online teachers have more time dedicated to interacting and supporting students during the learning process because the bulk of the grading is at the end of the unit in the form of a hands on project based assessment. So as we go through this course, you are going to notice that each lesson is extremely multimodal. I've tried to include as many forms of instruction as I possibly could on each page. You're going to see text-based instruction, you're going to see video-based instruction, and you're even going to see image-based instruction where I've created an image to explain new concepts to students. I've used GIFs as well, and throughout each page you're going to notice a lot of hyperlinks. And each of these hyperlinks is a supplemental material that is available to students. So if you click on each link, it's another page full of content. And so the point of these links is to A, give students additional resources to extend their learning if they feel like learning more about a topic that they are interested in, or B, if students have a question that was not answered in this page, or maybe they're still confused and they need it explained in another way, these links provide students resources to answer those problems. So the other instructional design concept that you're going to see throughout this course is self-assessment quizzes. As I explained when talking about MOOCs, self-assessments are an efficient and fantastic way for students to formatively assess themselves without needing a teacher to grade the formative assessment for them. This frees up time for teachers to interact and support students more rather than being bogged down with formative assessment grading. After students finish the formative self-assessment, they continue on to the next lesson that follows the same design concepts as the first. There are multiple modes of instruction, which include images, text, and videos. There are infographics and extended learning resources. The text is broken up into bullet points and quotes, and the overall goal of the lesson is easy to follow. Students then continue on to the first teacher-graded assessment of the course. So as mentioned earlier, MOOCs are typically focused on teaching skill sets. So I wanted to apply that innovative theme to this course by centering the projects around digital media and knowledge transfer. So while the content goal of this unit is to learn about the scientific revolution, the skill development goal of this unit is to learn digital media skills. The other design concept that I applied to this course is the avoidance of fact-based questions in the assessments. Simply because there is some issues with the authenticity of fact-based questions and the legitimacy of fact-based questions in an online format. In our 21st century, it's very easy to find an answer without any deeper thinking or any critical thinking. So questions like, when did the Battle of Hastings happen? Any Google search will tell you that the Battle of Hastings happened in 1066. And there have been some issues with online learning providers relying very heavily on multiple choice questions and fact-based questions simply because they're cheap and easy to grade. So the other concept that is in this class is, how do we make assessments in an online format authentic, legitimate, but then also how do we keep it cost effective and not rely too heavily on script and multiple choice formats to keep the cost down. And I try to answer that question by utilizing digital project-based learning throughout this course. As we continue to the next unit, you'll notice that there is a unit outline. I list the learning objectives so students know off the bat what content area that they are going to cover in this next unit. But then I also list the unit goals. So what skills are you going to learn in addition to the content knowledge in this next unit? I've also included a screencast of the unit to give students a visual outline of each section. I go through each lesson throughout the unit so students have an understanding of what the unit is, what it looks like, and what is to be expected in each lesson. Continuing on, you'll notice that the video in this next lesson autoplays. This is to encourage student engagement in the content. So videos that autoplay are typically going to have the most useful, relevant, and vital information in terms of content knowledge. And again, this is just one of the designs in order to encourage student engagement. The other thing you're going to notice is that each video that is selected to deliver content is going to be anywhere between 2 and 4 minutes long. There's a lot of research that shows student engagement and attention starts to drop after the 2-minute mark. And so I tried to adhere to that research the best I could to ensure the maximum amount of student engagement and content retention. The next unit utilizes that auto-playing video concept design again. The video is 3 minutes and 30 seconds to retain maximum student engagement. There are primary sources utilized in the instruction, quotes, and quick bullet points to deliver facts in a efficient manner. The utilization of infographics to deliver quick bits of information as well. And then continuing on, you have quotes, some backstory, and other multimodal forms of instruction. The last lesson in this course is a culmination of all the previous material. Because the content topic is the scientific revolution, I use this last lesson to explain the impact and the contributions of all the previous scientists and how they have influenced Isaac Newton and why he said the famous quote, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." So this last lesson kind of cleans and wraps everything up before we continue on to the final project. So in this summative assessment, we're going to see the application of the MOOC design methodology and also the application of adult learning theory. And the goal of this assessment is to A, be relevant to the learner through student choice, B, promote collaboration with peers. There's going to be 2 different opportunities for students to collaborate. Number 1, they're going to peer review each other. And then number 2, they're also working on a communal website. C, I wanted this project to be hands-on and allow students to construct their own learning. And then D, to teach a real-world applicable skill while authentically assessing content knowledge. And in this case, it's going to be digital media skills, which we've already used in a previous assessment in the course to promote that skill building early on, and then also make sure students have a foundational knowledge of that skill before finally attempting the summative assessment. As we go through the project, we can see that students will be researching some of the scientists that they covered through the previous lessons. Students get to pick which scientists they want to research. They're also allowed to pick scientists that they may be interested in but have not covered in this course. The other thing you'll notice is that on the side, I included an infographic on using Wikipedia for academic research just to have on the peripheral as students read through the instructions, just to give some extra tips and additional information to students on proper researching habits. After they choose a scientist, they're going to create a web page on a communal website, which is posted right here using Google Sites. In the process, they're going to give peer feedback to another student as a way to give a formative assessment midway through. And then The other requirement in this project is, again, digital media skills. So students have to include 2 different digital media pieces in their web page that they're creating for the project. And I give a list of tools and resources to use. So you have infographics, timelines, Google Earth, a storyboard, animated video, a screencast, interactive multimedia poster, or a word cloud. They can also use other forms of digital media if they so choose. And then again, I include another infographic about infographics to give students additional resources, again, as they read through the instructions, just as a way to give inspiration on how they might design an infographic. So they also have to have a detailed plan of how they're going to create their web page, how they're going to effectively share the information that they've learned, and how they're going to implement those pieces of digital media to be an effective way to inform the public. There is a detailed rubric so students have full transparency of what is required of them in this project. And once the student turns in the final project, they are officially done with the Prototype Scientific Revolution online course. So again, this course is designed around MOOC and adult learning theory, instructional design methodologies. The whole point of the course is to start to move away from multiple choice assessment as the main form of assessment in a digital classroom and integrate a more authentic and hands-on assessment utilizing project-based learning and constructivist learning theory. The other goal of this course was to move away from passive video-based lectures as the main form of content delivery in an online course and start to integrate more multimodal and engaging forms of content delivery. If you have any questions about this course or the design theory behind it, feel free to contact me at any time at dennis.jordan.m@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.